Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Professor Sistrunk, and I'm reaching out to the student body. Okay, students, welcome back to the channel. We have another packet tracer here, and we're about to work through it. A couple of things I want to do with this particular packet tracer. As you can see right here, this is 4.5.6 packet tracer Connect, a wired and wireless LAN. Now, there's multiple things in this particular packet tracer that I want to highlight. For instance, dressing table, we're going to have a cloud. You see we got an Ethernet 6 and a coaxial 7 off port 50/0. You know that to be fast Ethernet. And port 0. We got a cable modem, port 0, port 1, coaxial 7, internet. We got a router 0, console. We're going to console into that router, and we're going to work off F0/0, F0/1 with these particular IP addresses. Ethernet 6, F0. Then we have a router 1, serial 0/0 IP address. And also we have a wireless router here, a family PC switch, and we have a Netcad PKA server possibly, and configuration terminal. So we have a lot of devices in this particular packet tracer. And what I want to do is just start taking our time understanding what we need to do. It's important that you understand what you're actually doing. A student asked me a question. The student asked me, he said, "Hey professor, how many times should I do these packet tracers?" And I said to the student, you should do these packet tracers to the point to where you can just blindly do them without looking at the instructions. Now, what do I mean by that? We're going to go through this particular packet tracer, and it's going to tell us step by step how to do things. But now, when I give my students a test to test their ability to configure devices, what I do is I only give them this information that I'm highlighting. And I say to the students, okay, students, go ahead and build your network based off of this here. Nothing else. No instructions. Until you can start doing your packet tracers and your labs. That way, you do not know how to do this. So I need you to start doing the packet tracers that I present with you over and over and over again until you can get to the ability to do a packet tracer with just the addressing table, the objectives, and the background. Then you know the material. You have a great understanding of the material. And I'm going to talk about this more in a session when I'm not working on a packet tracer, so you can get the idea how to be a professional in this industry. So let's take a look at the objective. If I walk up to you and say connect to the cloud, you should know how to connect to the cloud. Connect router 0, connect remaining devices, verify connectivity, examine the physical topology. These are things at this point right now you should know how to do. In this packet tracer, let's take a look at this. The background. When working in packet tracer, a lab environment or a corporate setting, you should know how to select the appropriate cable and how to properly connect devices. At this point, we walk through multiple labs. And I said labs, but I meant packet tracers. So if you hear me say labs, you know I mean packet tracers. You should know how to connect these devices. This activity will examine device configuration in a packet tracer, selecting a proper cable based on the configuration and connecting the devices. This activity will also explore the physical view of the network in Packet Tracer. So these are critical skills you should be picking up on right now. You should be understanding how to connect these devices with no problem, none. Now, what you should not be doing is coming to this particular icon right here, clicking on it, and then using this icon to connect devices. That says to me, you do not know what you're doing. You should be selecting the appropriate connection for your devices. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to walk through each one of these connecting devices. But at this point, if you do not, and I'm going to say that again, if you do not know how to connect the devices with the proper cabling, you need to go back over this again and again and again. You must know how to do that. Okay, so with that being said, let's move to the first thing. Now, we're going to walk through this step by step, so this video may be a little longer, but you can handle it. You ain't got nothing else to do. You sitting at home eating bum bombs, watching cartoons. Okay, let's move on. So, instructions. Part 1. Connect to the cloud. Step 1. Connect the cloud to router 0. At the bottom left, click the orange lighting icon to open the available connection. Choose the correct cable to connect router 0 F/0 to Cloud Ethernet 6. Cloud is a type of switch, so use a copper straight through connection. So we want to use a copper straight through cable. If you attach the correct cable, the link lights on the cable will turn green. So let's do that. I'm gonna come back over here. Now we talking about router 0 to the cloud, and it says use a copper straight through. Now if you don't know the cables, all you got to do is put your mouse pointer on it, and you see at the bottom it tells you which cable to use. After a little time, you will automatically know copper straight through. So I'm gonna click here. I'm gonna come up here and click right there. Now it said it want us to do fast Ethernet 0. So I'm gonna click there, and I'm gonna come to the cloud. And in the cloud, it wanted us to choose Ethernet 6. And there you go, green light. You should know how to do this. And if you don't, just keep doing it over. These are skills you must begin to build on. We got all type of skills. We got skills you're going to use to do your tools with. We got skills you're going to use to configure with. And we have to have skills you're going to use to actually work with the devices. Okay, let's go see what the next one says. I'm going to bring that down. Okay, so we completed that task. Now it says step 2, connect the cloud to cable modem. Choose the correct cable to connect cloud coaxial 7 to modem port 0. If you attach the correct cable, the lights will go green again. So if I could bring this back up, of course, I can't use a console cable, straight through cable, copper over crossover cable, fiber cable, phone cable, coaxial cable. But let's look at the other ones. That's a serial cable. That's a serial cable. These cables we don't want. We want this coaxial cable. And it says go to, let's make sure we get the right one. It says go to cloud coaxial 7. So we're going to the cloud right quick. Let's go back. So I'm gonna go to cloud, and it wanted me to use coaxial 7. Going to the modem, and did it say port 1 or port 0? I'm gonna choose port 0. Let's see if I was right. and it says port 0. So you see, you don't have to really think through the process, but you have to start learning what cable you should use. And just take your time, people. Remember, this is going to be your career. So you have to get it right now so you don't have problems when you start your career. Okay, let's move to the next thing. Okay, we're starting to get the idea. Okay, so we finished that. Let's bring it on down. Now it says part 2, connect router 0. Okay, step 1, connect router 0 to router 1. Choose the correct cable to connect router 0 to serial 0/0/0 to router 1 serial 0/0. Use one of the available serial cables. So now we're going to use serial cables. Okay, let's go do that. And here we go. So we got a serial cable here and a serial cable here. Now I'm going to use this serial cable that got a little clock on it. No, I'm not going to use that one, but I'm going to explain that at another time. But I'm just going to use this one here. So I'm going to grab this serial cable, and it stated that it wanted me to go to router 01 to router 1. Okay, let's do that. So here go router 01. And it wants me to use this one here. And it wants me to connect right here, and it wants me to do serial 1. Let me check and make sure that I connected the correct ones. Let's go here. So we have here serial 0 to serial 0. So it wanted me to go serial 0 to serial 0, but I went serial 1. So I'm going to change that because that's a wrong connection. I'm going to come up here and choose this here. That gives me an X. I'm going to click right there. Then I'm going to come back and choose this here to get my arrow back. Then I'm going to come back down here and choose the right cable. And then I'm going to go click here, 0. And then I'm going to click here and 0. Now it's green. You see it green. So you see what happens when you choose. You not only have to choose the right cable, but you also have to choose the right port. Yes indeed, yes indeed. Okay, let's go down here and let's see what's next. Let's move down here to the next thing. So we're gonna go down here and we're gonna bring this up here. We're gonna come right here because now we're at step 2, connect router 0 to Neticat PKA. So it wants us to take router 0 F0/1 to PK F0. Now, we got to make sure we choose the right cable for this. And you can read the information. I'm not going to read through everything, but I'm going to come down here. And this time, I am going to choose a copper crossover cable. And the reason I'm choosing that is because I'm going from a router to what we would call a server, PC, or something like that. So I know I need a crossover cable. But just know this, in this day and time, if I put the wrong cable here, it would automatically change the connections. And that's what the statement was telling you. So I'm gonna click here. I want F01, and I'm gonna click here, and that go to green lights. Now, in this particular statement, it's telling you that you need the right connection. But in our day and time, even if you use a straight through or a copper straight through, it would make the systems, the routers and the switches automatically make the changeover. Okay, let's go to the next one. The next one here says connect router 0 to the configuration terminal. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to connect router 0 console to the configuration terminal RS232. So now we automatically know we're using a console cable here. So let's go look at that real quick. We got router, we got a configuration right here, terminal right here, and we got the router there. Let's go back and make sure we got the right one. It said configuration terminal, and then it says router 0. So let's go do that. We're gonna go here, we're going to get our console cable. Let's click the console cable, and we're going to click here. We want RS232. You know we're going to do some configuration with this, and we're going to click on router 0, and we're going to click on console. And there it is right there. So let's go back and make sure we did that correctly. We clicked on router 0 console. We get that. And then the configuration terminal RS233. So let's go back and look at it. Configuration terminal right here and RS233. Okay. Router 0. So we got router 0 configuration terminal. Okay, we got that. Let's see if we got a configuration. Let's go into this and see if we can go to desktop. And this is something I'm stepping outside the box on. It may tell us to do it, but I just want to check it real good. I want to go to terminal. I want to click here, and it shows me the configuration in here. It's telling me things are up, and there we go. I can start configuring this router from my desktop PC, and that's what you guys will be doing. You will be configuring routers, switches, devices from your desktop. I'm gonna go ahead and close that, and I'm gonna come back to the next instructions. Okay, so we got that. Now it says here, choose the correct cable. We know we needed a console cable. This cable does not provide network access to configuration terminal, but allows you to configure routers. So we chose the right cable. Now let's go to 3. Let's bring it on down. Connect the remaining devices. Now from here on, we just connecting other devices. And I'm gonna get to the point where I'm gonna cut it off because you get the idea. Do this lab until you know which connections you need to make. Connect router 1 to switch to a switch. So it says choose the correct cable to connect router 1 F1/0 to switch F1. So we're going router F1 to switch F1. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna choose copper straight through, and I'm gonna go to router 1 switch right here. And I'm gonna go F01, which it says right here. That's what it told me to do. And it says no. So now look at this. Let me close that out. I want to show you this mistake here. So it says, we're gonna go back here to the instructions. It says router 1 F10 to switch F10. Now watch this here. If I put my mouse over this right here, and I see router 1 here, so I know I want to go here, and I chose a copper straight through. Now I'm gonna choose a copper crossover, and look, I want to show you something. Look at this here. See, that said F0, so that's another type of connection right there. Okay, I'm not gonna choose that. I'm gonna click on here, and if F01. So what connection could that be? Because it's not a typical connection right there. So I know that I have the wrong connection, and you're gonna make those mistakes. You know, you're gonna make those mistakes where you choose the wrong thing. But this particular connection, look right here. I want to show you something. I want you to see this. I'm gonna blow it up. This particular connection is fiber. You see that? That's a fiber connection. So I'm gonna close that, and I'm gonna click on this one. Let's do the same thing here. Zoom in. That's a fiber connection. So you gotta know what fiber is, okay? So let me repeat this again. You have to know what fiber is. You have to know these particular connections, because you may be in a situation where you will have to connect the devices. So you have to know the proper connection. And this connection here is a fiber connection. So if I come down here to the fiber cable, which is right here, and click on it, then I click here, I can choose that fiber, and go right here and choose this fiber. Now we have a connection. Now I'm gonna speed it up so that it can all turn green. Remember, this is your speed up so you can see what you're doing. But you see, you have to know this. You have to know these connections. And I know that I'm spending time harping on it in this particular lesson, but I'm watching some people connect the wrong devices, and I want you to stop doing that. If you have to do it again and again and again, like that student ask me that question, then do it. Do it multiple times so you'll know this information. Okay, people, so I'm gonna do a couple of more and then we're gonna get out of here. So let's go look at the next level. So we did that, we completed that task. Let's go ahead and come here. Connect cable modem to wireless router. So that's a cable modem, and we're looking for port 1 to the wireless router internet port. And it's gonna turn green, of course. So we're talking about cable modem. So let's go to it, and we're looking at port 1. Let's just go down there and take a look at it real quick. So here we go. That's our cable modem. That's our wireless router. Now, if I click here, it shows me this here. So I'm gonna blow that up so you can see it. I can see right now that's a RJ45 connection. I'm gonna go ahead and close that. So I'm gonna make an attempt with this right here because I'm going from like device to like device, and I'm gonna click here and go to, hold on, let me check and make sure what I'm connecting together. Pull up my document, shrink that down. Cable modem port 1 to wireless router internet. Okay, so cable modem port 1. So I'm gonna shrink that down, and I'm gonna go back over here, and that's the internet. And then I'm gonna come here, and that's port 1. There we go. Nice little connection. You see the green lights, and that's it. Now, when it comes to connecting PCs and all that stuff, you guys know how to do that. I'm not really gonna waste your time with that there. You can go do it. Wireless router to PC1. All these things here you can do on your own with no problem. These are not hard setups. The whole thing wasn't hard, but they easy setups. I just wanted to get in here and make sure that some of you guys start paying attention to your connections. You know, connect wireless router to PC, family PC, wireless router, Ethernet 1 to family PC. You know, you guys can do that. We can put a cable cord on that. The next one say verify connectivities, family PC to this. That means I'm gonna ping it or check a website. I don't need to do that. We did that in several labs. And then we got a terminal configuration, router 0, so IP configuration brief. You should know that. And that's basically it, you know. But walk through the lab, make sure you understand it, and just make sure you know how to do these particular things. Now, I'm not going to do the whole lab because that would defeat the purpose of you going in there doing the rest of the work. But you get the gist of what I'm talking about. People, start paying attention to your connections because you will have to go in that server room or that router room and make sure that we have these devices connected. This is Professor Systrom. I hope that this was a lesson that you can learn from, and I'll see you in the next vlog. Bye bye.